has been their problem. So Ada is here with us. So just give me a minute and then I'll add you up. I hope we can have you. We can have. Hello, Ada. Can you hear me? You are muted.
Hello. Yes, I can.
Okay. Can we get video? All right.
Yes.
So you're here. All right. So I've been reading your article for our viewers. So this is Adachukwu Onwudiwe. Let me read her profile, her short profile. Ada. Okay. No. Before I read it, let me put her on the screen, because she's not just brains, she's also beauty. So want to Adachukwu Onwudiwe is an Enugu-based creative producer and strategist specializing in the intersection of archival history and sectoral analytics. From supervising storytelling at Afrochives Studio as co-founder to leading analytics of research insights at Metrics and More Analytics, she uses both cultural storytelling and data to highlight the hidden narratives of the Nigerian and African experience. So, Ada, thank you very much for joining Text and Publishing Religion this evening.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So now, besides the profile that I've just read, I met Ada in 2018 in Enugu when I went to Enugu to go and promote my book, Victor Banjo, and she and her friends were so helpful in the 10-day period I was in Enugu. Again, I would say thank you very much for your help. Way back then, it's been almost 10 years now. I should go back to Enugu very happy. Yes, this is 2026.
Yes, please come back.
Yes, so I pray God will give me flight. God will give me flight money. I came to Enugu I came in 2018. I also came back. I came for my office sent me. When was that? I think in 2022. You know, there was so much has changed. That time, your own Boko Haram people were disturbing you people at that time. You know, so yeah. All right. So Ada, thank you very much for coming. Can you just tell us what informed your article?
I wish I could say it's something. I mean, it's politics or something, but not really. It's one of those thoughts that's, I call them flyaway thoughts. But then again, I would say when you pay attention to the Nigerian news fair, when you pay attention to social media, when you read the rhetorics, especially as elections are approaching, there is just so much out there. And, sometimes when I'm alone at night and, once a single thought just comes to my head and I keep ruminating on it over and over. I started to think about this last month. In fact, I started writing it last month, but I didn't really. It was just a skeleton at the time. I had a lot of questions for myself. I had a lot of questions, for Nigerians, and it was just one of those questions that came up from just reading vast. So I can't point out one single thing and say, oh, this is what actually triggered it. But the whole go back to where you're from and all that. And I'm even from the East, where you think, okay, just about the politics, let's say, between the East and the West. But no, even here in the East, we still have those strands of, rhetorics that crop up, once in a while when something, happens. So it was a question I was asking myself, if I am, I've lived in this Enugu for years now, and what stops me from wanting to become a governor of the state if I choose to, or I feel like I'm capable of it? So it was just one of those flyaway thoughts, really.
Okay. I also thinking, while I was reading the article, I actually thought that this is a sound idea for a bill in the National Assembly. Now, if you have not thought of it, perhaps my question should even lead you to think of it. Have you thought of approaching either your local, federal, or Senate person with this idea? It's very sound, very sound.
Oh, thank you so much for saying this. To be honest, no. Like I said, when I wrote this, I have a blog, a personal blog where I just go to dump ideas, dump my thoughts, anything that comes to
Okay.
mind. So it was just something I dumped, but I don't write. I just don't dump. Ever, contents I put out. So this took me like over a month. Let's say, yeah, 3 weeks plus to come up with.
Wow.
So, but now that you've mentioned it, and based on the reception, the acceptance it has received, it has gone to places that I never expected it to go to the day I started writing it. Well, and the feedback I've been getting has been very nice and great. And I'm happy that people also think it's a good idea and it's a sound argument. So yes,
Yes.
I think I have a group of friends who I would say yes. If I push them to push it, they'll push it for me because in this sort of
Yeah.
thing, I can be quite. I just feel like I've done my part by writing, but yeah, I have friends that I know that if I push them,
Yes.
you know,
You should.
yeah,
You
they'll
should.
help me push it.
Yes, you should consider it. The name Nigeria came from a young woman who was the girlfriend to the man that was leading the British contingent against Nigeria in the late 19th century. I think something Shaw or something, Flora Shaw. She wrote an article and she just said, the country should be called the Niger area, Nigeria. The idea that Pakistan, which is a Muslim country, should be separated from India was articulated first in an article in the early 20th century. Somebody just wrote the idea, and before you know it, they began to push it. And all the Muslims in India moved to Pakistan, and that separation was done. Even the whole issue of the nation of Israel started sometimes in the middle of the 19th century. Somebody wrote an article, and the article became so well accepted. So you shouldn't take it for granted at all. Although, if an idea is blessed by God, you don't necessarily need to begin to take it from table to table, and say people should consider. Somebody else can just be their own idea. It doesn't matter. What
Yeah,
matters is that we all benefit from it. I
exactly.
come from Osun State, hometown only once, 2017, in what they call it, Elisha. That's the only time. Right now, I can't even think of politics or anything because I don't know the way to that place. Not because I don't know the way, but so far away.
Yeah,
But if this idea can be pushed and the people can begin to claim something called a state of residence, then we can all come together and, contribute to where we live. There are so many things one can do. It doesn't even mean that you have to run for public office. It could be other things that you,
exactly,
yes, that you
exactly.
can
It's
you can do.
yeah,
And I
you
think it's
feel it.
also an American idea. Sorry, you were going to say
When
something.
you So when you feel like you're a part of something, a part of a
Yeah.
community, you give your all. It's not like you said. It's not about the politics part of it. It's about where
Mm.
you're willing to see things done right. This is my
Yes.
place. And there's this place. There's this proverb we say in Igbo: "The ebonye bikona wachi." Where you live is where
Mm.
you take. Where you live is where you take care of. It's not ebonye
Yes.
si. Remember, when you say Ebonyi, it means where you were given birth to. But we say
Okay.
Ebonyi Bikona Wachi, which is where you
Mm.
live, is where you take care of. And I think
Yeah.
it's a proverb that applies to this state of residence thing for us. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I hope that somebody can pick the idea and run with it. Please, if you've not read the article, go to the Daily Times blog and probably just put Adachukwu Onwudiwe into it, and you'll find it. The article is titled "Elevating State of Residence Over State of Origin in Nigeria."
Yeah.
Ada, what's the name of your blog where people can find this article?
Just Adachi dot
Okay.
blogspot. Yeah.
All right, just adachi.blogspot. One other thing, apart from your own experience, do you know of any other persons or experiences that people have had with this state of origin, state of residence thing?
Of course, of course. I mean, even my own mother. I remember my mom. My mom was a teacher in Anambra State in the 80s, 90s, and they started the whole state of origin thing. She was working in the state school, and they did the whole, when Anambra did their state of origin stuff, they removed teachers who were not from Anambra, and that's how she lost her
Oh,
job from the state. Yeah,
oh,
so it's actually a lived experience for me. At the time, I didn't really get the whole politics, of it. But as I grew up and began to see more people complain about this, even when you're married to a state, you're married from
yeah.
outside your state to another state, it still becomes a problem. You can't,
Mm,
so these things become issues. And I also remember a few years ago, someone was telling me, I think that was during Enugu Buruburu's time in Enugu. They were
mm,
planning to do sort of like to honor people who have contributed over time to the state. And I
yeah.
saw the list, and I saw the list, and I was like, what's this? I mean, I don't even recognize anyone here, apart from not being able to
Mm.
recognize the people that I know that are actually doing things, that are actually contributing to this state are
So
missing.
another.
That's
Mm.
when I realized they were not indigenous of Enugu, and that's why they were not on that
Of
list. And it was unfair.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I consider it very unfair to
mm,
the individuals. So yes, it comes up in
yeah.
different ways. And, yeah, even as little as SUG in school, it plays a role.
Wow.
So it's something that we need to really
But
tackle. And I've seen
in
this seed.
Oyo State, when something like Osun State was carved out, teachers were
Yeah.
not let go. They permitted many of them to retire. My aunt is from, my father's elder sister was a teacher, and she retired in Ibadan as a teacher, even though she was from Osun State. So I do not know why people are so draconian about that issue.
Exactly.
I, it came
It's
it came up in recently. They were going to employ teachers. They wanted to limit it to only state of origin people, but when they realized they were not getting the best teachers, they had to open it up. So people from everywhere applied, and the competition was, and they got the best teachers. So that is that. Ada, can you tell us more about what you do? I saw in your profile there, there's this thing about Afrochive studio storytelling. Do you still do your storytelling? Those videos, that you published one time.
Yes, yes. So I am I think, team lead and also head of stories at Africa Studio. So we produce media and content that captures the narrative of the black. We call it the black experience because we don't want to limit it to the African. So anyone, anywhere who watches our content gets to have a sense of belonging, gets to um, feel something, have that sense of this is something I can relate to, with relatability to it. So my work there is I write, so that's honestly I write. So I write stories, I also supervise stories, I edit stories, and you can find our content on YouTube, Africa Studio, and also on Afro Touch TV on YouTube. We have a website,
Okay.
Africa do where you can check out what we do. So yeah, that's basically I write, I curate, I write, I curate, and right now I
And you
have
and you
also
still and you still work for yourself.
yeah, so this is work, yeah, because yeah, because we also have people who pay us to do these things. If
Okay.
you because it's media and content, we do
Yes.
a lot of things for film, short films, feature length film, documentaries. So some apart from our own originals, people usually reach out to us to say, "Hey, I have this story. I would like you to cover, or I like you to, shoot this for me and send." So yeah, we do those sort of works. Then apart from that, I also we have the metrics and analytics, which is a company that I'm a part of. And
Okay.
how would I put it? Yeah, so it's a data and research company. It's a startup. It's really new. It's really new. But for
Okay.
now, I am project lead of the research insights, still on storytelling. I love telling stories. I love to capture. And when people hear stories, they think fiction. Not really. I write poetry, fiction, non-fiction. I just love words. And one of the things I'm good at is use designing narrative that captures people's attention, that engages people in one way or the other. So it doesn't matter whether it's fiction or non-fiction or whether I'm analyzing data, because the whole point is how do I put this in a way that people read it, they get the gist of it, and they understand and engage with it. So that's basically my
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ada. Just a last one. If people want to reach you, how can they reach you easiest? Just give us, and then we're done.
Okay, easiest is email adachukwu@gmail.com. That's ada.
Please, can you take that again?
adachukwu@gmail.com. That's adachukwu@gmail.com.
All right. So please, reach out to my friend. She's a brilliant lady, and I appreciate the fact that I sent you just one WhatsApp message, and you're here. Thank you very much. Extend my greetings to your family, and God bless you.
Thank you very much.
I'll call you later. Let me conclude this work.
Thank you, and thanks everyone that's watching. Bye.